This podcast contains adult language and stories of true crime. If you don't like laughing, crying, or being horrified at the actions of other humans, this podcast is not for you.
Hey everyone, this might be a little surprise for you on your feed, but we wanted you to be able to hear an episode from our Patreon so that you could know what's going on over there. And so before we get started, just to let you know, you can go to patreon.com/Resolve Mysteries Podcast and subscribe. There's different levels. We're creating some more content over there than what you'll get on our regular feed. This one is a THDI. It's the first one we did in the series. THDI stands for what, ladies?
The husband did it.
So we're going to be doing many depressing THDI cases.
Yay. How fun.
How fun. But then also over on Patreon, we're doing kind of a tour of the 50 states and unsolved cases in those states, probably in alphabetical order by state. So, you can look for that over there too. Yeah, we're excited to create more content for you.
Yeah, we are.
And really appreciate you donating and subscribing over there. So, I think that's it. Go ahead and enjoy this episode.
Yeah. Yay, thank you.
Patreon listeners.
Hey.
What up? Oh, thank you so much.
Seriously, guys.
We're really glad you're here.
And so grateful for you, truly.
Mm-hmm.
So this is your first episode on the Patreon account, and it is a THDI, The Husband Did It.
Obviously.
She said with one eye open.
The only way you can say that. I'm also wearing my The Husband Did It shirt today.
Oh, apropos.
On theme.
Okay, so we're just going to get right into these.
Let's do it.
This is a story based in Canada, which I thought would be not fun. Fun's not the right word. Yeah,
Different.
different. Okay, so this is the story of Seble Dietrich and her husband, dead giveaway, Stephan Dietrich. These husband did it ones are interesting because you're going to know the whole time. but-
Spoiler alert.
Spoiler alert.
Allegedly.
Still interesting.
Allegedly.
No, this one's not allegedly.
Oh, okay.
Ooh, great. We won't get to.
Okay, so Seble is one of the ones that I had to look up how to say her name because she was born in Ethiopia and it's spelled Seble. So I wasn't quite sure, but what I found was that it's probably kind of a derivative. Thank you.
It's derived from.
It's derived from like Sybil, the English
Yeah. Okay.
name. But most people in her community called her Mimi. So
Cute.
yeah, I know.
And nothing like Seble.
Yeah.
No, not at all. So she was born in Ethiopia in 1976, and she worked very, very hard and eventually moved to Germany to try to make a better life for herself. And there she met Stephan Dietrich.
Boo.
I hope it's Dietrich. It might be Dietrich. Whatever. He's an asshole.
Cares.
So
He's a garbage person.
they married and eventually moved to Guelph, Ontario, and had 3 children together. Seble, who is mostly known as Mimi, like I said, she ran a coffee shop in the downtown area of Guelph called Sidamo Coffee. And she was just a super influential part of the Ethiopian community there. It seems like there is a really large Ethiopian community in that city. She was a part of her church and also ran like prayer meetings out of her coffee shop. So she was well loved. Seble's family and friends began to get concerned when she did not return their phone calls or show up for engagements she had planned on attending. On July,
running her coffee shop.
so many things. One of them was on July 11th, she was supposed to go see a friend's new baby, but never arrived. Sorry, this is in 2014. Her husband, Stephan, I don't know, Stephan, German, I'm not sure, was not forthcoming on her whereabouts, and eventually friends and family went to the police with their concerns on July 19th.
Could you imagine?
So wait, people were like, hey,
Where's your wife?
haven't heard from her in a while.
And he was like, "Meow."
He's like,
Oh my god.
She's just a pillar of the community that owns her own small business. Why would you ask that?
Not
Yeah,
sure.
Why are you guys so curious?
She's such a candidate to take off.
Yep. So, according to Stephan, he had last seen Seble leaving their home on July 10th in her red Mercedes SLK.
Ooh, honey, get that.
This was 9 days before the police began investigating, and they quickly cited this as greatly hindering their investigation and making their search for her much, much more difficult
I mean,
than had it been
9
reported
days?
right away by her husband. So
Jesus
he is not the one who even reported it. It was her family and friends. Who knows when he would have, if ever.
Okay.
Her 1999 red Mercedes was later found near her coffee shop downtown, but she was nowhere to be found.
Oh my God.
So, because Seble had family and friends still in Ethiopia, Germany, and other parts of Canada, the police considered the dumb possibility that she had traveled somewhere and not told anybody, even her 3 children.
Yeah. She was like, oh, I forgot.
I forgot I
and-
need to go back to Ethiopia.
And
real
she
quick.
had just returned from a trip to Ethiopia to see her family. So
that's
her
like double
family in
stupid.
Canada was like, she didn't go back. She just came back from there. So her community didn't think it was likely, and eventually the police didn't either. Detective Sergeant Manfred Hoyer said, quote, "This is out of character for her. Most of her trips are announced, and this is an unannounced situation. That's why we're concerned about it."
Yeah.
Duh.
Oh, wow. Yes.
Yeah. So, in one of the first articles published after she was reported missing, police describe Dietrich as a non-white woman, 5'5" with a slim build, black hair and brown eyes. She often wears wigs of different colors and length. She speaks English, Ethiopian, and German, and of course, we'll put a picture of her on our Instagram page.
And we're not going to put a picture of her
No,
fucking
God, no.
husband.
No.
So on August 10th of that year, a month after her disappearance, roughly 150 people attended a rally which formed in front of Guelph City Hall and then marched down Wyndham Street before passing in front of the Guelph police station.
Wow.
One of the organizers, Emmanuel Malaline, said, "While the Ethiopian community is appreciative and supportive of the ongoing police investigation, quote, we want them to do more." So he said,
That's awesome.
"We are supporting the police in anything they want, and we want them to do more in this. Usually police make a search, but police have not conducted any search. We want them to do everything possible."
Like searching,
Like
for
look-
example.
Like
Yeah.
fucking
Do
looking.
anything. He says, "She was a very humble heart. We feel that if she is alive or in a good situation, she would have said something by now to a friend or family member. As the days go by, we are very worried."
So, I don't know much about Ottawa, but was this because she was Ethiopian and her...
I don't know. This is Ontario.
Ontario, sorry.
But, I mean, that always comes into play with when it's a person of color. Are
Yeah.
they really focusing as hard as they should?
Yeah.
Possibly. I don't know. So I just love the community that she was a part of. And they were like, we're not going to let this go.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah, really.
So are you ready for red flag alert? Stephan Dietrich was invited to the rally. Do you think he went?
No.
No, he wasn't. He wasn't there because he was not interested in talking to the media about the case.
What the fuck?
Okay.
Also, I don't want to say be better at killing a family
No,
member.
you don't,
But
but
be
yeah.
better.
Make it.
Or just be smart. Like, what are you doing?
I think as we do more of these cases, like as I was researching this one, it just reminded me so much of so many of the ones we've done
Yeah.
on our regular like Unsolved Mysteries rewatch. And we're just going to be noticing so many patterns.
Yeah.
So nearly a year goes by with no
What?
updates or breaks in the case.
Wow.
The community continues to hope for the best, but obviously the longer no one heard from her, the less and less likely it seemed that she could be alive.
Obviously.
So then, and I couldn't really find what spurred this, but on Tuesday, July 9th, 2015, almost exactly a year after she went missing, Stephan Dietrich is arrested and charged with the murder of his wife and obstruction of justice. And it's unclear why, because her body had not yet been found. But in the days after the arrest, the Guelph police issued a statement indicating they have yet to locate Seble Dietrich. The investigation is ongoing, and police are presently holding 55 Vancouver Drive, which was their house, under judicial authority. So that afternoon, I think this was Wednesday, the following day after he was arrested, the bungalow where they lived was cordoned off with yellow police tape, and you could see like canine units searching around a shed. And officers could be seen like working a lot in that area, and were digging underneath the back of the shed structure.
And where was this?
Like in behind their house in a shed.
Oh my fucking God.
Yeah, in their backyard or side yard. So with the help of police dogs, officers located and dug up a recently poured cement pad under a wooden plank in the shed attached to the garage. And this is where Seble's body was found, curled up in the fetal position, fully clothed and dressed in rubber boots.
Oh my God.
Yeah, so... But yeah, it's just really interesting that he was arrested before the body was found. And I find a couple other things that they found like on his computer that I'll talk about. So maybe that is what finally gave them enough to arrest him. But I couldn't ever find anything definitive.
Also that kind of like, we're so used to watching that in a documentary or a movie or hearing about it on a podcast, but that stuff takes a really long time.
Yeah.
If you're not like if you're not like a high profile case. So it could have just been a matter of like going through the data or
Which
in the
is just-
computer. Or
It
like,
must be so maddening to be one of those police officers and like, or detectives, and knowing it's him or probably him, and just not being able to get him. And then knowing he's probably also thinking, great, I got away with this.
Although I guess maybe that happens often enough that you're just like, it's a slow burn and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
Like I'll get you.
We'll get you eventually.
Yeah,
Ugh,
because if
probably.
you're a detective and you feel that way all of the time, like you can't live.
Yeah.
So you
They're
have
used
to
to it.
rely that eventually you're going to do it.
Patience is your main virtue.
Yeah.
So an autopsy was done on Seble's body, and it revealed that she was killed by blunt impact head trauma. And then police discovered also that Stephan had been having an affair
I'm so surprised.
Are you
That
shocked?
is shocking.
with a woman from Toronto named Shuping Han. He met her, and she was an escort, and he met her in May of 2014. And remember, Seble was murdered in July of 2014.
Wow, she got there quick.
So, court documents revealed that Stephan and his mistress exchanged messages before and after he killed his wife. The text spoke of one day living together as a family.
Oh my God.
On June 3rd of 2014, Han wrote to him saying she was lonely, and Stephan responded, and his English is his second language, German is his first, so this sounds a little broken, but in English he said, quote, "No, you have me. If you want, I'm yours." Literally, it's all
Caps.
all
Exclamation.
I have a family. Yes. I'm happy? No. And my wife? On the paper. Yes. We do not sleep together. If she's here, she sleeps in another room. Only show for the kids.
Wow.
Whoa.
He's a monster. And then
And they had both immigrated to Canada. It wasn't like someone married someone else for a green card.
Right.
I mean,
No,
not
yeah,
that
no,
would
no.
be any reason. But
Yeah,
I'm just
yeah.
trying to follow the logic here.
No, there's no logic. So it was around this same time that on their computer, the police found Stephan had started to research ways to get a divorce. And
Which
this is
quickly escalated to how to bury a body.
Yeah.
Once he found out how much he was going to have to pay every month.
Oh, yeah. Girl, just wait. Just days before killing his wife, Stephan completed an online application in Seble's name, not his name, to initiate divorce paperwork. And he paid for it with his own credit card. But then later, he started to ask.com, where can I buy chloroform?
Oh my God. What year is this again?
2014.
This motherfucker,
You
though.
really should know better than that. Like,
Says the most moral member of our crew. You are so stupid that even Carlin is disappointed in how stupid you are at murder. That's how bad at murder you are.
oh
Yeah.
my God.
Oh my God.
Allegedly, this seems so dumb, and I hate when the husbands finally give a reason, and it's the dumbest
yeah.
reason of all time. So, apparently, a phone bill had arrived on July 10th, which is the day she was murdered, And that evening, Stephan called Seble about the bill, and there's a recording of the call, and he's talking very angrily to her, and he's upset about the bill. And then she's heard responding to him, and this is the last time her voice is heard. So then a surveillance video shows Stephan going to a bank to pay the bill and then returning home. And police believe when he returned home, that's when he killed Seble.
Oh my God.
Over this stupid phone bill.
and that
He's like, how dare you be calling your family in Ethiopia so often?
Yeah,
it
exactly.
has nothing to do with the fact that he's hooking up with an
No.
escort and
Right.
he's like happy. No.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So then it gets crazier and worse. On July 14th, so 4 days after she's murdered, Stephan was seen dropping off an envelope at his employer's house, who was a close friend of Seble. And in that envelope, there were 4 letters that apparently Seble wrote, and along with her wedding ring, her SIM card for her cell phone, her car keys, and copies of her German passport and Canadian permanent residency card. Are you ready to hear what the letters said that Seble, quote, wrote?
Absolutely not. Go ahead.
This is apparently from Seble. I do not know what to say. I'm gone and will not be back. I have committed adultery and I am now pregnant friend from another with which I am for some years. So remember this. Remember how...
broken English.
Uh-huh. These letters were then, of course, found on Stephan's computer, where he had written it first in German and then translated it into English. And then the signature at the bottom of that letter, because it was typed, but then she signed it, it was found to be a perfect tracing of her passport signature.
Jesus Christ.
So, like, he held it under the paper.
Okay, and not only like coming up with a reason that she's gone, but making her the bad guy.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yep.
So,
I had the affair. I'm pregnant. Here's all of my identification, because once you get pregnant through an affair, you don't need
you don't
identification
need that anymore.
anymore.
Exactly.
Obviously.
It's so dumb. This is what the full thing says that they found on his computer.
Oh, because he like edited it?
Well, he put it in German, then he translated it into English. He printed it off.
On probably like Babelfish.
So the rest says, I do not know how or why, but I cannot hide and start a new life. Please do not be mad at me and help my husband. Please let your anger not at him, and he was not unwatchable to work safely. It's so nonsensical.
Not unwatchable to work safely.
I know I leave many questions. Please help him to divorce. Please help him to find a woman who is better than me. Please help him with the children. I hope he does not get too much vexation for me for the many... this doesn't even make sense.
It's not funny. I'm
Something
sorry.
leave
This
behind.
guy.
Please tell him sorry for the money that I have taken. This is actually your money, what he has brought from Germany to the O to be paid to you. This is to his employer or whatever. So I apologize to you. But it's him writing it.
I mean, oh my God. So this is what's fucking terrible, is that these people, these men, are stupid men. They're not good.
No, they're not
They're
smart.
not clever.
No.
They're not serial killers that get away with it forever.
No.
They're not, and those people are terrible too, don't
Right,
get me wrong.
right.
But this is just a guy who found someone else that got his dick hard, and instead of wanting to divorce his partner, he murdered her. Like, and he's so bad at it.
Yep.
Like, I'm glad he was eventually caught for whatever reason, but like, that's the most infuriating thing.
Yeah,
Is like, you
like-
would think if someone was gonna kill you, they'd be smarter than you.
Right. And to not know that everything he's done makes him look more guilty is ridiculous.
Yeah. Okay, so
You were worried about how he knew. I mean, this guy doesn't know a fucking thing. He's a mess.
Oh my God.
Oh no! What are you gonna show us now?
I just thought of something I have to tell you about at the end of this. So
Great.
yeah, horrible. So he told his kids, like, she left you.
Oh God.
And his mistress moved in with them a month after she died.
This is like teacher's pet, but I bet they're all like
It's
teacher's pet.
like-
That's
so
what
many.
I'm saying.
Yeah,
it's
I know,
all
I know.
the patterns.
I just listened.
And
to
this
that
is
right
what I was listening to an episode of Canadian True Crime that was a very similar story to this. And it just, got me so riled up thinking about, like, not only did you murder a person, like, obviously that is the worst possible thing you could do, but you also, like, took your children's mother away.
Yeah.
Like, you are not just hurting one person or that person's, like, mom or whatever. You are literally the people you should care the most about in your entire life. You are hurting them in the worst way you possibly
And then
can.
you're also telling them she didn't like you. She didn't want you.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's just a level of, like,
Yep.
evil.
Yep.
Oh my God.
So,
Maybe this shouldn't be a series.
Oh, we're going to get really
know.
mad.
all the time. Okay.
We'll do another short stack that's called Let's Chomp Valium.
Chomp, chomp, chomp.
Valley of the Dolls with Allison.
You supply the Valium.
I have it. I wish I would have eaten 7 before this.
Okay, so, no, this is just going to make me more mad. So, days after his arrest, Stephan Dietrich wrote a letter to his children apologizing, quote, for what happened. He writes that he loves them and encourages them to make something out of their life. Nowhere in the letter does he express regret, obviously. The closest he gets is when he says, quote, I didn't want it to reach this point.
I didn't want to get caught.
And then he says, don't let anything get you down from those out there. Be strong and use your head. What good advice. Nobody helps you. You have to make it on your own. The world is shitty, but you can make it. You are very special and strong.
Yeah. And you're made to feel that way
You can make
from
your
your
own
mom.
dreams come true.
The world is shitty because I'm your dad.
Yeah, the world's shitty because I fucking murdered your mother.
Oh, my God.
So, Dietrich is sentenced, thank God, to life in prison.
In Canada?
Yes.
That's what they do.
There was talk of him getting extradited to Germany because he's not originally a Canadian citizen. So I'm not sure where he is. But yeah, he's sentenced to life in prison and not eligible to apply for parole until June 2037, at which point he'll be 65, which honestly still seems too soon.
Yeah,
Yeah.
too soon.
Yeah.
And then Dietrich was ordered, which I love this, which is so sad, but yeah, he was ordered to not communicate with his children.
Of course.
Which I don't feel like they order that all the time.
No,
They don't.
They don't order that in the United States.
Yeah,
I've
I
never
mean,
heard of that before.
happy face.
Me neither.
Yeah,
exactly.
But this is Canada, so maybe, and that's
Yeah.
a really, I don't know. Is that
I don't
a
know
good
how to
law?
feel about it.
I don't know
I
how to
know.
feel about it. You know, like there's a like your
I mean,
family's torn apart, and then
But
like
honestly,
think about
no good can come for the children of
Him contact.
being
Yeah,
in
of
contact
course.
with them ever.
yeah,
then-
because it'll always be about him. And
Yeah.
his
Always going to
story
be
and-
manipulation.
And like if there's more than one sibling, then it divides the sibling.
Yeah.
Which is that's all you got, you know?
Yeah. So, and he was also ordered to not communicate for members of Seble's family.
They were probably like, yeah, no shit, we're good.
So, in his statement to the court, he said, quote, "There's not much I can say. I'm sorry for whatever happened."
What? Oh my God.
For whatever happened.
Whatever it was.
What the fuck?
I know.
Oh my God.
I know. Okay, last part. Almost done. So Seble's sister read a victim impact statement at Dietrich's sentencing hearing. Her name is Helen. Wandimejgegnehu. I'm sorry.
That is not your
tried.
fault.
So she says, quote, "She was a person with a big heart and a kind, gentle manner. The other hardest thing for me is knowing the pain and fear that Seble must have suffered at the time of her murder. I have tried so hard to make sense of the situation, but I haven't been able to do so. I never imagined that I would lose my sister with someone she had trusted and loved more than anything."
Oh, fuck.
And that is the story of Seble Dietrich.
Cool.
I don't really know how to end it.
I don't either.
but-
You know, what do we do now?
We don't have to end it. We're not doing outros. This
Yeah.
is what we're doing. This is
Yeah.
it.
Thanks for listening. If you knew about this case, you can comment maybe on our Patreon little comment feed. We can talk more about it, but yeah, really sad. And
Yikes. I don't want you to fully be in charge if the husband did it, because it's always going to be this.
it's always a bummer, that's for sure. It's something we'll have to think about, and it can keep evolving. But
Yeah.
And sometimes it will probably be allegedly ones. This just happened to be one, which
Yeah.
we'll have to be careful about too, but this just happened to be one that he was found guilty for.
And the worst.
And the worst. So, yeah.
So have good time.
You're welcome.
Oh, I guess on our Patreon, can we put pictures on our Patreon? Mm-hmm. Okay, then
We'll put pictures.
Yeah,
We're not
you'll
gonna put it
know
on
what she
Instagram.
looks like.
So so her photo will be there. So I think that the victim's photo will accompany the release of the Patreon episode. But fuck the husband.
Yeah.
He doesn't get it.
Never.
I mean, it's the smallest.
Unless
like, who gives a shit? But
maybe if we're doing a case that's unsolved, it might be good to have that image out there.
in case you like run into Mark Nichols somewhere.
Yeah, exactly.
for real.
Oh God, I hope you don't.
Okay, thanks for listening, y'all.
Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.